Hello world, my name is Mr. Tired Eyes, and if you don't know me already, you probably will soon. I fondly go by Seth. Call me Seth, or Tired Eyes, doesn't matter. I'm here to talk to you about something that's very important, and it needs to be addressed very quickly. If you're new here and you don't know who I am a transgender man. Although I pass, terrible termage, I choose to out myself whenever I meet new people and go out in public. I do this because it's really important to me for there to be a healthy representation of what trans people can look like. I've been on testosterone for almost 6 years now. I don't have to tell people I'm trans, but because it's so intertwined with my experience as a human being, it would be a total disservice. And besides that, I have always cared very much about human rights. I made a video and I posted it almost 2 months ago. It was about the piss poor response from admins of a Facebook group from my local community, and it was run all by trans femme, but the response was absolutely unacceptable. I made a video about this because this behavior has been damaging me and a lot of other people for a very long time. I've dealt with a lifetime of abuse, and to give me more abuse because of discomfort with their own insecurities is unacceptable. Again, we need to hold these people accountable. All that I said in this video were things that other trans men have been saying. The worst of these things that trans men are talking about are the abuse. They're talking about abuse, and they are silenced and gaslit and told that they are lesser and that their struggles are nothing, even though we all know people born as women are treated more poorly than people born as men. Okay? Can we clear that off the table, please? I finally figured out that this group that is bullying me are trans, inclusionary, radical feminists. Think TERFs, but on the opposite spectrum. Instead of abusing women, they abuse men. This is nothing more than an outlet to big feelings that they don't know how to handle, and they're taking it out on their own community. When the bullying really solidified, everything became crystal fucking clear. All I'm doing is hitting the right points and holding shitty people accountable. Nothing more, nothing less. In return, they've decided to follow me around to anime conventions and record me without my knowledge or consent, where they then share it to Discord with voice lines like, "He voted for Trump," which is illegal to ask about anyway, but I didn't vote for Trump. I was actually talking about his 19 sexual assault allegations back in 2016 when everybody was still calling me stupid for saying inflation was about to happen and that we might have fascism. But okay, they're recording me during intimate moments that should never be shared online, let alone mocked. By shaming me for having everyday struggles, they only reinforce the idea and the expectation that anybody who steps out of line and speaks out against them will be punished, bullied, and reprimanded appropriately. And frankly, I don't take kindly to being made an example of. By backpedaling and displaying such a severe aggression towards me as a powerless, unhoused, and isolated individual, as a response to me asking the community for help, as well as requesting they straighten out their behavior, should be reprimanded. This is a situation that demands reparations for trans men and AFABs that identify as masc or non-binary. What this boils down to is the anger from MTFs because of the struggle to fit in because of certain physical features. This breeds an abusive and internalized behavioral cycle where they feel they are justified in their bullying and punching down on trans men. Creating abusive situations over imaginary and irrational reasoning just to hurt people who could help hold you up and make you succeed hurts everybody involved. The truth is that anybody on HRT after 5 to 10 years will feel a lot more comfortable with their body and who they are than they were before. The end goal is that everybody needs to work together to make the transitioning easier. We cannot cope without a support system, and that is why they have taken away mine, so I can't cope, so I continue to be an easy target for them. By allowing these toxic behaviors that put trans men in the hospital to flourish, along with cyberbullying those who don't agree with you, is only going to harm your community more and more and more. And that includes anybody who's a trans woman. It puts a target on the vulnerable. And trans women need to continue to check their privilege and start taking their roles in the trans community seriously. Because this is life or death. The transition is as rough as puberty, but as long as you put in the work, you can succeed and thrive. It takes patience. It takes time. It takes a lot of valuable emotional regulation skills to get through your second puberty, but bitching and whining within a year isn't the way to go about it. It takes years. It takes a decade for you to fully be comfortable in your body usually, and that's okay. But when you strip a community away that could help you and potentially garner your success, you are setting up no kind of future built for anybody, including yourself. Equity, equality, and peace reject the idea of stepping on the heads of others to get ahead. People are in danger, and there is a good reason why trans men are killing themselves. One of the most important things you need to know about me is that I cared about equality and equity at a very young age, to the point where I was ostracized before I was even a teenager. I have everything to owe to the connections that I made online as a kid, connections that we can't find anymore in the modern age. But I learned so much from the perspective of others. The constant ebb and flow of what we're told was right, what we think is right, and what others say is right is a very difficult mental process to sift through. As early as 11 years old, I was hearing these stories, and I have taken up to saying lately that the most valuable thing in life is the experiences of others, because that is something we will never have. There is too much perspective to be explored and too many beautiful people and places to see to be bickering over made-up problems made by a hate group. The golden rule is to treat others the way you want to be treated. It really is that simple. And yet we're always punching down on each other just to get a leg up. All we have to do is realize what privileges make us easy and what challenges make us strong. It has never been a secret that all I could use was my voice. I was a senior in high school in 2013, what a flash to the past, and I had to explain to my advanced placement English class what feminism was. They stared back at me with blank stares and quickly started to deflect. They claimed they had never seen women face any sort of inequality, so surely it wasn't so. Gaslighting has been the root of my life, as well as any group of people who have been shamed for nothing more than their existence. Everybody knew I was trans before I did, and they spent so much energy backpedaling and pushing against me that they created exactly what they didn't want. True fucking strength. This video is a little convoluted, because this was something I had to put together like a very complex puzzle almost completely on my own. I did what I could to get information from where I could, and I did have a couple of reliable sources that I will not be disclosing. I do have a good handful of names and accounts of people who absolutely know what's going on, but I will not be putting that here because this is the internet. They also will use deniable plausibility tactics that they either have no idea what's going on or they'll try to deflect. But the truth is, after this video, I'm taking my hands off the wheel. I've done everything I can my whole life. I've cared passionately about people and how cruelly they are treated, and I have lived my life led by kindness, and I have always tried to fix myself. But now I know I wasn't actually the problem. I was the common denominator, but I wasn't the problem. Which is where this video comes in, but after this video, there's nothing more I can do. I have nothing. I have no one. Nobody wants to give me a chance, and everybody sabotages me. And this video is just the catalyst, because there are enough trans people in the Midwest that know what's going on, that they can speak up if they choose to be good people. This is a lot bigger than I thought, but again, they've made sure I've lost everything thus far. I have nothing more to lose. The only thing I have left is gaining the respect and safety of my community. And I'm still leaving the country. But this is the least I could do, is use my fucking voice. Because I'm a nobody, and I've always been a nobody. And for them to put so much energy and effort to doing this to somebody in their own community that has no power is just really telling of what's going on. Everybody forgets that a good man with nothing to lose is the fiercest opponent that you can have. When I say they fucked with the wrong person, I mean you fucked with the wrong person. Especially knowing damn well that I fought for this shit my entire life. Queering indie, trans inclusionary radical feminists, get fucked, step down, and I hope you lose everything. Let's see me a little more happy. So we're going to cover some ground rules. This is going to be more of a official thing, professional. This is going to be more professional. And there will be text over the screen in some parts, so get ready for that, I guess. These are your ground rules. These are things that you need to keep in mind while looking through the comments, while commenting, while watching the video. First of all, watch the damn video before you reply. It's okay if you only watch 10 minutes and then you reply, although I would really prefer you watch more than that, because this is a convoluted issue that has a lot of parts to it, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people who are not being honest. So the only way to really pin it down is to show you the moment of realization when all the puzzle pieces started to come together. Additionally, I started to record my vlog around the time the abuse really picked up because I needed somebody to talk to. I just felt so alone and isolated that I figured the only way for me to feel better was to talk to my phone. And it does work sometimes, but just so you know, I did not start recording because of the abuse. It was just because the way I felt was the only thing I could think of. That being said, as I've been recording these vlogs throughout the summer, there are times where you can hear people making comments in the background. And most importantly, every single time that somebody treated me strange, I talked about it on the camera. Even if you don't want to believe me, shut the fuck up about it, because there's going to be a whole trail. Let's go with the ground rules, because it is so easy for me to go on a tangent. The only comments that I will be deleting are the ones telling me that I am mentally ill. Bipolar is not some crazy schizophrenic delusional fucking thing, okay? When I say I'm bipolar, it means that I feel all of my emotions at the same time. And it is my job to delegate which emotions get to be on top or hidden back behind other things. That is all that bipolar means. It means I'm emotional. Holy shit, who would have fucking thought? It doesn't mean I'm delusional. It doesn't mean people are looking at me. And most importantly, this is the fucking internet. You are not a doctor, and if you are, you're not my doctor. Because I don't have a doctor. Because they don't want to treat me. Because this is America, and I'm a trans person, and I'm not a people. Okay? So that's the biggest rule. Don't sit here and try to diagnose me with schizophrenia. That's the gaslighting campaign. Shut the fuck up. All other comments, I completely encourage. The bullying comments, go ahead, show your ass. I love the comments. It's engagement. It's recognizing the fact that there's something fucking wrong. I'll also let you in on a little something else. Commenting does 3 different things for me. Establishing proof. Good people don't bully others. And you will be proving my point by bullying me in the comments. Providing evidence. Every time I get hateful comments, they reveal pieces of the bigger picture. I hear all about your discords, pattern recognition, and red flags. I don't know if they misunderstand my attention to detail, but once you know what tells to look for, it becomes very clear to see where the divide actually lies. Additionally, I will be releasing another video, maybe after this, maybe before, about how I accidentally started the trans drama on Reddit. This is the story of the terror that happens to good people. Let's take a step back to look at an earlier script, just to ease in a little bit. This is the compact description of what led to all of this and what this video is about. I found out at Anime Midwest that while I chose to vlog and travel the country after my lease was up, the Midwest transgender community was secretly following me around at events, making comments directed at me, and recording me in private and intimate moments without my knowledge and consent. I have learned that they've taken to posting these videos on Discord, where they make things up about my character and bully me behind my back. Not only is stalking, bullying, and coming up with rumors a very bad thing to do, not only is it harmful to everyone involved, not only is it literal psychological torture, but the fact that this community has become the exact target that they're trying to run from is a sign that transgender people are not safe anymore. We need to get out before we lose everything. I was the guinea pig, and now I'm the canary in the coal mine. This began, as far as I know, with the Queering Indie Facebook group. This is a group meant to help the community, but it has forgotten equity, it has forgotten equality, it has forgotten morality, and their only conviction is to abuse those that they don't agree with. I can't understand why telling this community not to be abusers has led them to be even worse abusers, but I'm sick of it. I am nobody. What kind of target are you even trying to come after? I now know why we have been called the intolerant left, and I now know why Trump won. Gatekeep, gaslight, abuse. I'm gonna make this quick. I made an introduction before, and it was really messy and all over the place. And as I always say, the more time that passes, the better, because it gives us more time to think. So here is my introduction to this video. I am being stalked and recorded by the trans cosplay community. What a whirlwind to say, am I right? I tried to discredit it as paranoia because I've been through so much, and I am very strict on myself about being realistic. So for the longest time, I was like, it could just be a coincidence that people are treating me weird, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, what are the chances it would be everybody? However, it's true. They have been recording me, they have been manipulating me, and I am so very blessed that somebody helped me figure it out. And I know that they all know who they are probably, and I don't want him to get in trouble, but he's probably going to be in his own puddle of mud. I'm really hoping that something good will come from this. I have been told not to post this. I have been told that I sound delusional because it is a difficult thing to explain. And I would not come to this conclusion if there was not solid evidence. So watch the rest of this video. Let me explain a little bit more as well, because there's something that you really have to know going into this. In live time, you saw my face change from is this a simulation, the real delusion, to, oh my God, I get it. I understand what's going on. I understand exactly what's going on. That being said, keep that in mind that at the beginning of this video that you're about to watch, I had no fucking clue. I was still not connecting the pieces. I never thought something so delusional would be real. And like I said, everybody's like, don't post this video, don't make a big deal of this. But it's so you're saying that I can get kicked out of this community and get treated like this because I said, hey, don't be bullies? And then I talked to somebody in the AMV group who has a very good reputation, and I admire him because he really seems to have his shit together. But even his response was, yo, don't post this ain't real. And I'm like, hello, if you don't know me yet, my name is Mr. Tired Eyes or Seth, and I have a feeling a lot more people will know me soon. I did this, quote, trans women problem because I've been dealing with abuse, microaggressions, and just overall terrible behavior from the community. The only reason why they are doing this is because I expect better behavior from people who want to speak louder than me, over me, push me away, and erase me. Now, there are a few things I want to address. First of all, yes, this is 100% real, and I'm not making this up. Pretty much everybody that I have met in the community, they want to pretend like this isn't happening, and it's a big gaslight thing, so there will be a lot of comments more than likely that are basically saying confusion or I don't know what's going on. But I want y'all to get mean. I want y'all to get real. If you're going to be mean to me and you're going to bully me, do it in the comments. This is their tactic for attacking conservatives and people that they don't agree with. I do not like this form of fake activism because of how harmful and detrimental it is. And the fact that they use it on their own community is just, I will say this word a lot, but insane. The problem is that I'm not a problem in general. I simply want my leaders to not abuse me and care about me. I want to feel safe and loved, and I've never felt that my whole life. I've just been abused and left to rot. And I feel it's important to use my voice because that's all I have. Because I get excluded from this community, and because I want to be treated well and like an equal. And that is so wrong to them that they have recorded me without my consent. The actors that they hired was so upset with this fact that he let me know, recording me peeing. They were recording me in a Renaissance fair I went to. The local community is doing plausible deniability. Because of the complexity of this situation, I just need to go over a few key terms and concepts with you. The denial of blame is the core of what this is. It's pretty much every single time somebody is like, you did this, they're like, no, I didn't. And they play it off like they didn't do it. That's the gaslighting aspect of this, and it's why it's so detrimental and harmful and psychologically damaging. There's lack of clear evidence, which means it's hard to trace back. There's a lot of forethought because they have to plan together. And it's usually done in politics, law, and other organizations. The other thing that I need to address before moving on is the style in which they are doing this. This specifically is the politics example that a political campaign might use surrogates to make negative attacks, allowing the candidate to deny direct involvement. Between the Facebook accounts that was harassing me on Marketplace, I know what's going on. And the worst part is that the person isn't going to match the social media that they give me. So they have a different set of people on the socials that are in person. It's a huge thing. They have actors, and that's why I said one of the actors felt so bad because he knew this was wrong, because I'm not the type of person who deserves this, that he told me and he let me on. So there is no more gaslighting me. You cannot sit here and tell me I'm making this up, because I know I'm not. I want somebody looking at this with some logic and common sense, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Doing the right thing and speaking up for what's right should not make me a victim of actual abuse and torture. So, let's continue now that we've gone over those few base things. It's weird behavior, and I am so fucking proud of B. Is that what I called you in my story? I don't know. I gave you an abbreviation for your name. I'm proud of you, dude. Like, to be able to sit there and speak up, like, it is wrong. It is wrong to sit there and record somebody and stalk them and trick them because you think they're a bad person, but you're doing some crazy non-consensual creepy stuff by doing that. Wild. So, let's get into it. This is the most organized you are going to see me in this video unless I add more, and I have just been trying to leave in the details. So stick with me. I am very proud of you. And it's like I keep saying, not only would it be so silly for me, an outspoken person who is hated right now because I'm outspoken, to shut the fuck up, not only is that like not what I'm gonna do, but it needs to be known that if something bad happens to me, or if this carries on to a more complex level, that you all know that I know, and that if something happens to me, now the whole world knows. And I really hope I can get some logical people in this discussion. D'Angelo Wallace, I'm going to tag you, and I don't know if you're going to see it, but I admire you. You have always been very rational and level-headed, and I always agree with your points. I know that's such a stretch, but I have a feeling like this is unique enough of a situation. This has never happened before, to my knowledge. And this is crazy. So let's get into it. Grab a drink, hydrate yourself. Don't even worry about eating a salty snack. Like, you just want to like stay healthy for this, okay? We're going to do this, and I'm going to edit this like wildfire. The vlog is on the back burner. This is priority. This is important. This is wild. Yeah, it's a lot, baby. This has been going on for about 4 months now. I'm no fucking idiot. I just give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm not doing well. I'm just trying to enjoy my life. And this was the opposite. They have taken videos of me using the bathroom and some other really crappy stuff that they shouldn't have. It's pretty much sexual assault. So that's cute and quirky for them until they get in trouble for that. And it's really weird how they're putting so much energy into doing this, when in reality, I need help. And we're gonna get prepared, we're gonna get ready. This is gonna be like putting together a puzzle for me, but I gotta stay smart. I gotta stay on top of it, and I need help from real people. Okay? Thank you. I don't know. And then there's another guy who was like really vague about, he didn't have a badge, and he was really vague about where he was, and the guy was like, oh yeah, he's a DJ. But he wasn't at either of the raves. He might have been like at a concert, but he was one of the guys I sold blood to. He was the first one who asked. I mean, not that... Hey guys, me from a little bit in the future after I made this video. Let me start off by saying that transphobia is not cool. Don't ever talk down to any type of group of people, ever. I'm just very unsure of what to expect. Hi, I am driving back home to Indianapolis from Anime Midwest, and there is a lot to talk about. But I literally just left. I just now got on the interstate, and I wanted you to see. I have pretty privilege now. Look at this charm that I got. And it says pretty privilege with fucking sands on it. I deliberated for a very long time. Are people gonna be mad at me for that? But you see, the thing is that the more people are gonna hate me for something that is inherently not bad, the more I want to do it. So I did that, but oh boy, there is a lot to unpack. This is going to be a whopping video. I'm going to do my best. I am in Chicago traffic on my way back to Indianapolis right about rush hour time, so we're going to be here for a second. Okay, all right, where to begin? Anime Midwest. Probably should take this wig off. It's nice though, right? Quite proud of the work that I put in to that wig. I look so good. I think people have been strange, and we are going to get into the meat of it. And there are some things that I really need to level with you about how I just feel like there's so much mass manipulation. So I am walking this delicate balance of knowing that people don't like me and trying not to be delusional. So let's begin. You would think that I would know the organizer's name by now. I think his last name is Koff, Ryan Koff, something like that. I haven't looked deeply into it, but going into the convention, I did know that there are sexual assault allegations and that it was messy. I knew about that because when I googled Anime Midwest, it was just something that I observed. Everybody who was there asked about it, and I had the same response. And my response is a few things. There's three things. Let me say three so I remember three. One, he said, she said situations are always very complicated. Not only you don't know when somebody's being honest, you don't know when a situation is being misread or when a person's socialization doesn't line up with the other person's, right? Like, we're having a problem, and let's be real, that men are being treated like creeps even when they're not being creepy. I cried about this at Colossal Con when these two girls, I'm assuming, freaked out because I was walking towards a dead end, but I didn't know it was a dead end. And they were freaking out, oh, he's going to kill us. And then they went back to the hotel room instead of just continuing on, and therefore telling me where they live, the hotel room that they're in. And I'm like, bro. So I understand how things can be blown out of proportion. I'm being blown out of proportion because I'm speaking the truth. That's separate. So reason number two is the fact that if the dude is still running the con, he's still running the con. But that leads me to the third point of our fucking president had 19 sexual assault allegations before he was elected the first time. And y'all are suddenly like, oh, we should protest this con. And it all ties into my issue with the fake activism, with the caring about things in a weird way, about prioritizing things in a really fucked up way. And at the end of the day, this convention is here for people to come and have fun. This was the first con that was social like the old times. And I'll get into that because this is my 5th con. Let's do the math together. So I went to Anime Central after I got back from California. And then I went to Colossal Con, Sandusky, Ohio. WeebCon in Indianapolis. Animate Columbus. 5, yeah. I said 8. I threw out a number and I told somebody it was my 8th. So this is my 5th, and then I'm going to have GenCon, which I'm working, so it's more of like a work thing. But a lot of people who go to cons are working, and I met a lot of people who were working, and one really special one that completely ghosted me. So, okay, now that I have given you a preface on the state of the con and its organizer, I think it's time to kind of get into the specifics of the demographic that was there. I think in the past, Anime Midwest has mostly been a younger convention, and this year there were not a lot of Gen Zs, which was very new to me, because all of these conventions I've been going to, Gen Z is the new, they're the new young guys, they're the new young adults, and the young adults dictate trends. So I'm wondering if by getting those Gen Zs out of there, that sounds so rough, especially knowing it's sexual assault allegations, which need to be taken seriously. I'm not going to sit here and victim blame. I'm also not going to sit here and talk shit about something I don't know about, But because those Gen Zs, my 5th con, and finally I was at a con that didn't have all those Gen Zs for the first time. And I think that kind of affected things too. I mean, it was pretty barren. The difference at this con for me is people just talk to each other. It was so social. Everybody was so personable. It was like how it used to be, and it felt so good, and it felt so pure, and I met so many people, and I didn't get any of their socials. But people were kind, even to non-cosplayers, but I wasn't cosplay the whole time. And I felt really good about myself, and I do think that it was a big part of it was being in cosplay. People are much more willing to talk to you, but that is absolutely not the entire reason. And I am so torn on the situation. I am, on one hand, grateful to feel like old times again, but on the other hand, the scene was different because it was my age group that went there, and it's just the fact of Gen Z got into cosplay when they were bored on TikTok in 2020, and they don't have the IRL etiquette for conventions, and this has been discussed in lots of circles online. I've seen YouTubers talk about it. Everybody needs to learn how to act, and because the crowd was different, there were a lot of like, I don't want to use the word incel specifically, that's such a specific word, but there were more people that you would consider problematic. And to put it into perspective, the very first day, it was so foggy. What'll really put it into perspective is walking into the convention center on the first day when I first got there. I smelled stank. I smelled that armpit stank, that gamer stank, that Magic the Gathering butt crack stank, okay? So let's get into it. I sound like a real YouTuber right now. Let's get into it. I'm going to talk about the events and the people I met and just go play by play, because the longer that time passes, the worse my memory gets. And the big thing that I want to talk to you about that's really personal, that I really need to talk to somebody about, because it's a lot, and I have a lot of feelings as somebody who's just very isolated and doesn't really have anybody I can trust. So we'll get to that. Alright, here's the play-by-play. I'm going to do my best. Ooh. So I left Indiana Saturday night, and I'm pretty sure I gave you an update before the con, so I don't need to go over that again. I end up getting to the convention center at 1:20 p.m. Like, I was parked at 1:20 p.m. As soon as I parked, which I parked on the 4th floor, and it was on the opposite side that I parked for Anime Central. So it took me a second to get my bearings and etc. afterwards, but it took me about an hour to get my cosplay on. I'm also super spacey. I always joke about how I need a wife. I could enjoy my time so much more if I had somebody to help take care of me, but that's life in general, so what does it matter? I'm not codependent, but me doing everything myself, because I'm so meticulous with everything that I do, I can't do this alone. And I've been doing it alone for a I'm going on a tangent, but this is a vlog, bitch. I know you love to see me. So finally, I get to the convention center. I get into the pre-reg line. And then I realize I can't find my phone because I have to take it out of the case in order to use this phone stand thing. And I was recording. You've probably seen it by now if you're watching in chronological order. I couldn't find my phone, of course. And it didn't have the case on, which makes it way easier to find. It has a very shiny thing on the back. It's somewhere. Oh, it's in my lap. Very shiny. Very shiny. So I couldn't find it. And I'm like, shit. So I stepped out of line. I had went into one bathroom and it was so overcrowded, it smelled like piss, that I wasn't about to do shit with my wig and that, whatever. So I went to line, realized I didn't have my phone, went to the bathroom nearby there, looked through my bag, couldn't find my phone. So I asked the security of the hotel if anybody had turned in a phone. She was super nice, super nice, super nice. She said no. She was really apologetic, and I was like, it's fine. Do you think you could call my phone in about 10 to 15 minutes in case it's in my car? She said yes. She was very nice. She had that Midwest hospitality. I walked my ass the 10 minutes back to my car. I had just got here, and it took so long to get here, and then it took so long to get ready, but it's fine. I get to the car, I start looking, I can't find it. I can't find it at all. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll look in my bag again, which I had already checked like 2 additional times, by the way. It was in the bag. It was in the main part, too. It was just sort of like a flap, and it was just hiding. If I would have just taken my shit out of my bag to begin with, I would have found it. I looked several times. It's not like this thing is stuffed. I have my main backpack for all that other shit, so I didn't need to put shit in there. And there, it's not like it was fucking hidden by magic, whatever. The good thing that came from this is I had gone up to one of the badge people that was doing cash, which is always way slower these days. I told her about the situation, and she said, well, actually, I can look you up by name. So she found me, she gave me the badge. I glanced at the will call line, and then I looked at her and I was like, I would hate to skip the line. And she was like, oh no, you're fine. And I was like, oh, thank you. So that was the first kind act. The second one was directly after with the security lady who called my phone for me, and it was so funny. When I pulled it out of my bag, less than 30 seconds later, she called it. I was like, that is some timing right there. Crazy stuff. I only got 4 minutes of recording time left. So I had my phone and I had my badge. The way I looked at it was, since I wasted about 30 minutes, I almost got sideswiped twice in a row, by the way, just now. Great at what I do. All that time I saved by not standing in the pre-reg line. I would have probably stood there for about 30 minutes for the pre-reg. You know, so as I was walking away, I was like, yeah, I have kind of been trying to get in here for about 20 to 30 minutes now. I'm really ready to get out of Chicago. So I don't have a lot of recording time left, and I'm going to go ahead and dip out for now. I will get back to you later to finish up my story because, yeah, we're like at the beginning of the day. So I'll get back to you. Ooh-wee, I have been on the edge of my seat to talk to you. I keep replaying everything over and over, and every time I start to record, I lose my train of thought. There's just so much. So here's where things really start to get more interesting, and it's basically once the sun goes down. Throughout the day, I was having some really great conversations. People were very personable, they were very nice, an overall pleasure, and it was such a whiplash to what it's been. And this is when it gets unusual, because up to this point I was like drinking and at the rave, and I was like feeling the normal amount that I usually do, and I found the group and it got unusual. I'm gonna be lazy and use ABCs for names, but A and B were together, and let's just say A was watching B. You're drunk and fucked up, like I'm babysitting you type shit. So we were standing outside, and the first thing, like, I just didn't think about, and it went over my head at first because it seemed pretty normal, but I mentioned how for me, we were talking about what got us into cosplay, and I said it was my online friends. They were so good at it. and it inspired me to do it, and I always wanted to anyway, but technically Homestuck was what really got me into like actually making my own cosplays. And he was like, I don't know much about Homestuck, but I want to say Vriska. And I was like, and I said, yeah, I actually did cosplay Vriska a lot. I want to say BPD. And I was like, that kind of came out of nowhere, but no, I don't have BPD, but I do have bipolar. The thing that sobered me up was, and like this entire time, like this entire night, there's a whole bunch of us. The thing that got to me was people quietly making comments at a Ren fair. And I have so much trouble remembering his words. Every time I talk about writing my show, things get bad for a second. But if I act just like when I cosplay, like it's like I get rewarded. God, I'm sick of all these fucking trucks. It's more believable than mass gaslighting. And I'm still worried that might be a thing too. Whatever. That's completely irrelevant because I don't think that's what this guy was. Because when he said, yeah, talking quietly at a Renaissance fair, I was like, whoa, how does he know that? The entire night was like, oh, don't worry about him. He just says silly shit whenever he's drunk. Don't worry about it. But it's because he took a hit of weed, but it was only one hit of a joint. Did that flash? I know it took me a second to record. I feel like something flashed. Was it? No. So A was like, oh yeah, he's just gonna say a bunch of weird shit, you know, because he had weed, and because I didn't realize, like, he said like he shouldn't have it, but then I accidentally offered it to him and he took it, and I was like, yeah. So A was already saying like he's gonna say weird stuff, just blow it off because it doesn't make sense, because most of the time it didn't make sense. This guy's the only one here who is real. At the time, you know, totally normal. I'm not gonna be a weirdo that likes to be delusional. But at one point he was repeating, can I bum a cigarette? Can I bum a cigarette? Like not over and over, like once every 30 seconds or so. And he already had a cigarette. And then he asked me, do you record people in public without them knowing? My heart did a backflip, because that is such a big fear of mine, that people will think I'm recording them, because we live in a time and age where people just do that. So I'm very conscientious, and I'm not just going around recording people and stuff. And I barely recorded anything. But see, since it was after the other comment, I feel like that is either feeding on my own insecurities, or that might actually be what's happening right now, is people think that I'm doing that and making me out to be real bad. I don't know. It is weird. So when he asked that question, I said no, and he said why. He basically said no, that's strange and non-consensual. So it was strange because it was like, okay, so if my community is putting a lot of effort into bullying me and mass manipulating me right now, this guy probably definitely in on that. Or he's a psychic. So you're not a fucking psychic, bitch. I got treated nice though because of pretty privilege. I miss pretty privilege. I'm real pretty. And there have been a lot of moments this weekend where I haven't really felt in control of my choices. And when I have felt in control of my choices, it seems to place me in really weird places. I don't know, like there is a very good chance they could be humiliating me online. I would hope not, because that would just be so cruel. And way to prove my point, a lot of stuff is not normal. I don't really remember oh yeah, they end up following me to my car. This part was really uncertain for me too. So they were really eager to like come with me and hang out and whatever. Then whenever we got there, it was kind of like a now what moment, because I only went up there to do a couple of things at my car, and then I was going to go back. So they all wanted to follow me to my car. There's just so many layers of dancing a fine line between paranoia and like genuine concern. So I went to the elevator, and then I got in the elevator, the doors closed. I looked at the buttons, I didn't press the button. And then I opened the door, I looked out, and then they were starting to head their way back. So it's like, why would you be so eager to follow me out to my car? They didn't stand around and wait. But then once we were there, they wanted to stand around and wait and then immediately leave. As they were coming to the elevators, I was like, oh, I had a feeling. But I insinuated that I just felt like they were going to be right behind me. So it was strange. Again, I don't understand. Not that I don't understand. I'm just so very worried that I'm a target. Now I'm worried that they will know the location of my car. And people were so like trusting and nice because there were a lot of good things. But again, it's so easy to orchestrate situations. Oh, I don't feel good. I'm good now. Pressure. It was pressure in my head. Still pressure in my head. Also, weird behavior. Before the people I met that night, there was a group of queer people in the elevator the first time that I went back up to my car, and they were talking about somebody with a complex. Just like, oh yeah, he has a God complex, but I can't blame him. Something. They didn't want to talk to me. As in, like, it was another really cold interaction that I've been having a lot lately, like at the Renaissance Fair, but a lot of other places too. There's reason for people to hate me right now. And if y'all could, like, try to improve our lives, so unacceptable to think that so many people are putting so much effort into making me feel miserable. Because life's done that already, and all I've ever done was fight for what's right. And now y'all want to treat me like a fucking problem? Do you want equity or not? Look, somebody said something about the elevator, and I was like, oh yeah, sometimes it bounces. That's real fun when it does that. It does that every year. I'm kidding. She didn't do all that. There were so many strange characters. It was so bizarre. So the guy who was totally spilling the beans on the mass manipulation, I hope he's okay. I hope he's not getting ostracized right now for that. His friend was like, just don't worry about it. And I was like, I cannot do that. I am an endlessly curious person, and I need to know what's going on. If somebody needs to tell me that I'm being manipulated by a mass amount of people. I also want to note that the other really important thing here wasn't just that he was saying these things, it was that everybody was shushing him. They were like, shh, hey, shh. So they did a really piss poor job too, because if they wouldn't have done that, I probably actually wouldn't have thought twice about his ramblings. Except maybe the Renaissance Fair. But you know what? Bless his heart, bless his mess. You leave him alone. Please don't hurt him. Dude's just trying to be a good moral compass for this stuff, okay? A was such a strange person in a sense. I don't know. And then there's another guy who was like really vague about, he didn't have a badge, and he was really vague about where he was, and the guy was like, oh yeah, he's a DJ. But he wasn't at either of the raves. He might have been like at a concert, but he was one of the guys I sold blood to. He was the first one who asked. I mean, not that it was. It's so strange. I don't know what's going on. And that's so scary. I am just trying so hard to figure things out, dude. I'm trying to put everything together, because if they did put something on there, and then I fucked around last night, I am just so very concerned. I don't understand. God. I don't want to step by step the rest of this, but like I said, I really need to talk about this. Dude, I don't know. So then the next day, I met a financial counselor specifically for LGBT. Didn't know that when I met him. He wasn't marketing towards me or anything. Said he did this on business and that he usually wouldn't come, but they sent him, which makes sense, but even that's fishy now too. Because they were great people too, but it's like, what's the point of being so great to me if you're just going to leave me? There were so many people that were like, oh yeah, I'll be around, and I'll be around this area, and I'll be in this section, and I'll be around at this time. And I think I went the wrong way. The financial counselor I met was really cool. He invited me up to the room. We had rum. He knew I would like a lime. He seemed to know me really well and talk to me exactly how it needed to be. And there were 3 other people who were all great too. And I really wanted to see them again. And I went back up to the room because I left my wig, which is now gone forever, by $15. It wasn't even technically his room. It was somebody else's room that he was just chilling in. So I couldn't find that group of people because they said, oh, we'll see you. And I was like, they didn't say it like that, but like when they were like, oh yeah, we'll meet you at the rave, and they asked me what I would be wearing, and I whatever, and then I wore something else because I carried it in my backpack and it looked really fucking bad. So I went back to my car immediately to change my outfit, and then I went back and I didn't see anybody that I was looking for. And it's just so weird because it's like, are people following me around and recording me? How long has this been going on? How do they like see what I'm recording on here? Because this is all unedited. I'm only up to like April whatever, you know? And so it's like, what are they doing? And what do I need to worry about? I just really loathe this feeling of just helplessness. But it as simultaneously is kind of intriguing because it's not slick. I'm smart. So anyway, I go see the other guy, the only guy that kept coming back. I think he was the only like normal one there, to be honest. And I kind of picked up on that. As soon as we got alone, and it doesn't matter, like he wasn't interested. Some other guy came in suddenly. But what I didn't like is we were talking, and I think I got like a little excited and my voice got a little bit louder like that. All 3 of us had been doing. And he said, you're getting loud now. And I was like, what? I'm trying to have a conversation with you. He wanted us to listen to the story. And I was just trying to converse. Reciprocate the conversation. So I went back to my car. Other dude came with me. That dude stayed behind because I didn't want to be around him anymore. No siree. So we went over to the garage, and now it's extra suspicious. I love pleasing people. What can I say? I have missed wherever the fuck I need to go multiple times. I was supposed to go north. Sorry. Is my phone dying? Like I'm not gonna have the gas for this at all. I am agitated. I'm very agitated. Because the dude that I was like hitting on, like he came back to the car with me, and I told him multiple times that you can go back whenever, that if you're not comfortable with me, like a little bit, not like anything crazy. And again, I kept asking and making sure, all consensual. I'm always here. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. This large amount of people would have so many resources and time and energy to attack me. I am not sure if there's anything else to say, but I'm weirded out, and I didn't feel the only time I felt weird was during the car situation when they all followed me. Like, I felt something was off during that time. And I hate talking about stuff sometimes because I feel like it gives away me, and it gives these cruel people these tools to hurt somebody who genuinely just wants to be the best person that I can be. I want everybody to thrive. I want everybody to have true equity. I want everybody to be able to make art. I want the world to have another renaissance. And we're not going to be able to do that as long as we're in the working class that gets paid fucking pennies. And we've just allowed this shit to get so bad for so long. And the problems that people want to pick are just crazy to me, because there are real problems and they have been ignored for so long that nobody's gonna fucking do anything about it. But they'll sure as shit make me feel weird as fuck. Like, this is stupid behavior that I'm witnessing right now. And I think he said pissing in the car in front of strangers. I wish I could remember everything he said. It was just very bizarre. And then I saw A and B the next day. He was totally normal, being sober. And then the next time I saw A was alone. And I asked, where's your liability? I said it as a joke. It wasn't even because I was thinking that he spilled the beans on the fact that people are watching me. But then I came back and I was like, where's your liability? And they were like, oh, he's taking a nap. I was like, oh, okay. And it was before the rave, so I figured that they would come back for the rave, but I didn't see any motherfucker after. So it was just weird. Lots of very wonderful, positive experiences that I want to get off my chest, that I need to shift the mood. I need to talk about the good things. There was a Hulk Hogan with thong, and you could see hips for days, and American version Chun-Li, and they had sandwiches, chips, water, because I went up to them to ask for water because I saw they had water earlier, and they had all that stuff too, and I was like, yeah, and a cookie, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I ended up sending like 4 different people to them because they were like, oh, the food truck's closed, and then somebody damn near throwing up, and I was like, bro, you should go eat, go find Hulk Hogan. And I like pointed to where it was. There were not a lot of ribbons. This is not a big ribbon con. What else? Just seeing cool cosplays. Talking to like vendors and stuff is always really cool because, you know, if I'm being mass manipulated right now or whatever, I don't think they know about it. So employees, vendors, exhibitors, artists, I love them. I hope they love me. And I hope that they would tell me if they knew that I was a victim of something really fucking strange. I still need to shift the mood. What else could it? I'm sorry. It's so hard for me to think about the good things that happen, because what good things? It's so overshadowed at this point. I don't know. We'll figure it out one way or another. I'm so freaked. But I have told you what I needed to get off my chest. I just really needed to talk to you like I was talking to a person, because there are really a lot of things that just give it away to me. Like, there are so many tells. Looking back, it's like, oh, they could have been told that information. They could have seen that information. They could have seen what I looked like beforehand. And it's like knowing how easy, especially with the internet and the fact that I make videos, to know me before I know them is just weird. It's like a weird crash course of being, quote, famous, but in a much more dangerous way, because all these people were so different. They were like all different NPCs in a video game, and I am just baffled. Like, I hate to say it, but they even had the token black person. Conversations die whenever I bring up my show. You know why people don't ask questions? It's either because they don't care about your answer or they already know the answer. So when people don't get excited about what I'm doing and what I'm making, it's either suspicious or it's disappointing. And nobody really reacted to that. At the end of the day, all true is I do what I think is right and best for everybody. I've said it before, but doing what's best for everybody is going to leave everybody with a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth. But that's kind of what makes it the best decision. You cannot please everybody, and when you try to do that, it's bad. And we just live in a really fucked up world, and I am very concerned just about a lot of things, and I have such a level head about. I just have good judgment, and this is weird. I wish you were a person, and I wish it didn't take me an hour and a half to get ready to go into a convention center because I keep misplacing my phone. I know I don't have to go to these things, but free air conditioning? It's not free. The way I cut it, it's about $23 per day for air conditioning and bathrooms that I can use to do my hair and wash my face. And that's really great because you can barely get a hotel room for one night for $70. And again, it's what I want to do. I want to have fun. And I know this isn't going to work for long. I know it's not really working as it is. But I need to keep myself engaged. And I am very much so hoping that I can just find a career in conventions. I want to be able to do something. Oh, that's so stupid. That's not what I want to say. And I'm just really hoping that I can get more event work and that I can get enough money to at least do those hostels. I don't know. So that I'm not paying a lot for a weekly rate or something, and then work on my show then more. I want to cry. Like, I want to, but I can't right now. I think it's just because there's so much I'm thinking about. And I'm worried about my health, mental and physical. And I don't know. My scalp. There's another thing the dude said, talking about scalp, itchy scalp. They are hurting those less fortunate in order to establish and maintain a sense of power and dominance. There's nothing I can do about that. I am just feeling strange. I am so weirded out. You can be so Pavloved and groomed into thinking that this is the reality, and it's just not. I did have a lot of good experiences, and I tried to go through them best I could. There was also somebody giving out Red Bulls. I needed that this morning, but everybody was very nice, and I do feel like everybody was working really hard to just be really friendly and hospitable, and it was really nice to see. Absolutely hate how we can only have that sort of behavior when there's sexual assault allegations. Wild. Everybody was asking me the same question, and I'm wondering if people are individually trying to interview me discreetly, and if there's some kind of page dedicated to me of recording me in like different angles and stuff. He asked me, do you record people without them knowing? And I said no, because I think that's unethical. But if they're recording me, and I would be happy to entertain this if it weren't for the fact that this is super fucked, if this is what's going on. So I guess this is my next hour-long video that I'll be posting. I don't know. I don't know. It's freaky. It's freaky, and I don't know, because, you know, things would seemingly go well, and then they act like a different person when I reach out. And then the other way around, too. They seemed really great online. They really wanted to reach out to me, and then, like, I meet up, and it's just like they are... I don't know. I'm just very confused, and it makes me sad. I meant to say, I heard people calling me hot a couple times, but like there was one time, why is he so hot though? And it's like, if people do know me, because like I don't use TikTok and now Facebook or anything really, like I stay off of that now, so I wouldn't know. I'm the perfect target. I mean, like, kudos, I guess, but where was this energy when Trump had 19 sexual assault allegations in fucking 2015? Like, that's what I want to know personally, but pick your fucking battles, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Life is an isolating experience, and I don't get it. I don't, because this is not normal behavior, and I hate feeling uncomfortable. Whisperings at a Renaissance fair. He didn't quite say that, And he kept calling my car the prerogative. He wasn't using the word prerogative, but I think it started with a P, and it was like, you know, I'm just so stuck in traffic, like I don't want to check. I gotta stop to pee eventually. I'm so fucking tired of being stuck in traffic needing to pee. It's tiresome, it's very tiresome. It's the same spot too. I'm just so worried. Because it's like one thing to succeed from your hard work and efforts online, but it's another thing to be like stalked and harassed when you're just a little old nobody who wanted to speak the truth. They say the right things, and that's a problem too. Like the financial dude, he said he really likes vampires. And he's a really big vampire dude, and that's why I brought up my story to him, which I hadn't done a lot this weekend. Like, nobody really guided the conversation that way. Nobody really talked about animation. It was weird. It was just really strange. So again, by saying all of this, I am giving people tools to better manipulate. This is ridiculous. Yeah, thanks for finally fucking pulling forward, ass Jack. Like, fuck. Sorry, I don't get why he took that long to fucking pull up. Like, goddamn. You're a fucking bitch, bro. It's just like everything's a test. Like a setup test. I looked so stupid last night when I was like, oh, he's just psychic. But that's what I do, is I rationalize. Like, that was more rational to me than like what he was saying, you know? And he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I don't know how long this would have gone on without me knowing. If I were to give a good guess on when people started recording me, it probably would have been, at least when I think it started to become obvious, was those dates that I went on. And they were weird. I looked on the car and I didn't see anything, but I don't know what to look for. I'm thinking he probably took it off while I was sleeping. I slept sitting up in the back seat, but the air mattress was underneath me, so it wasn't terrible. I was just really drunk. And I woke up, and I'm not sure what woke me up, but not too long after, a cop came to my window and he asked me if I was okay, which is the first time that's happened. And I was like covering myself because I didn't have a shirt on. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay, and sorry. So what I'm thinking is they probably took it off around that time. I'm just so endlessly curious. Kudos to B, bro. That's some noble shit right there. On the plus side, it's probably backfiring on them, right? Because people see how fucking nice I am. Oh, the financial guy had two friends, Jamonte, and I never got his other friend's name. It was Cody and Jamonte. And they were really happy by the time I left. They were damn near applauding me, and I was like, I didn't think it was weird at the time, but looking back, what? They were like, oh yeah, he's great. He's a great person. And I was like, okay. So I texted him because we were having a small conversation. I texted him and I asked him if he knew me before he met me. Because if you think I'm a good person, you're gonna have to tell me what the fuck you think is going on. Or what the fuck is going on. This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm gonna post this as soon as I can. I'm not gonna wait to edit all my other vlogs for my trip. This needs to be talked about. The lack of honesty for me, what does it matter if you're trying to judge my character correctly, if you're being dishonest? If I knew that somebody was being recorded in public by strangers and that they were online somewhere without their consent, I would fucking say something. I don't care if there's some kind of grand reveal to this or anything, but the fact that none of these fucking people told me what was going on, are they famous? No. Okay, I forgot a detail. Like, Cody was on the top floor, room 2932. Top floor. I didn't need to mention it because I have a video. I mean, like, in order to be the top floor of this premiere suite, you gotta be someone, and I don't get it. I'm just in shock. I have no idea what to... My life is crumbling apart right now because the idea of being secretly famous in the sense of, like, oh my god, they weren't famous. Surely they weren't. He said he was a DJ. See, the DJ dude, he was like, oh, about 5 minutes from here's where I'm from. He didn't sound like that. I just think it's a funny voice. And And then the fact that everybody asked me the same question, what is your opinion on the convention debacle? And I gave you my answers, and it was the same every single time, and I kind of got tired of repeating myself, not gonna lie. I got quicker and quicker at saying it, but, you know, is this like training to be a fucking president, bro? Are they training me to be a fucking president? Because I've had that thought a couple times as well. I bring it up a lot, but I didn't think that people would just be doing that. I figure with me exploring the US, it is so much for me because it's beautiful. Going to California, I knew it would be beautiful. I've dreamt about California. I've had a lot of deja vu moments. I've had a lot of red herrings. I've had a lot of people treat me really weird, and a lot of people treat me really weird, and because like, what's the end game? What's the goal? I'm living in my car. Get me somewhere to live, you know, and I can excuse away anything. I could see a pencil floating in front of me and I could say, that's not a ghost, that's just a draft. You know, I always want to trust people, and I cannot trust myself to not. Allowing myself to trust everyone that I met was good for me mentally, but I really shouldn't have trusted everybody like that. If they saw a good side of me recording and they think I'm the GOAT, that's weird, but I do suppose that tests don't work as well when you have time to study. So, I don't know. I am baffled, and I am very much so hoping that I get an explanation very soon. I've been working so hard. I am still trying to wrap my head around this. Goated dude. That dude was goated, and now I can understand why he was being a dick. Because, you know, a couple of them were being, like, weirdly racist, and then, let's call him C. He was peculiar, too. Let me know what's going on exactly, and how I can at least monitor what this is. The worst part about it being non-consensual, besides the obvious things, is how I can't speak up for myself. Because I made it really clear that speaking up for myself is the most powerful thing I can do, and I'm never going to stop doing it. And they're taking my voice away on purpose. So, this video is about to end in 6 seconds, so maybe we'll get more later. What a big one, huh? Everything's on the table, the cards are folded. I haven't made it back to Indy yet. It's 12:30 a.m. and I left at 4:30, and it's an hour behind. It's been hard to focus. I had to stop and do one DoorDash just so I could get gas. Worked out though. I guess I want to say there were some other things that dude said that I keep thinking of that I didn't mention. Something about Mexican. I'm assuming it's because I like to say the word tortilla. Why not? Literally, why not? I love dialects and accents like the Cuatas, Texas, Chicago. You know, like I got my little quirks. I'm a person. I've never tried to act like something I'm not. Wow, this is insane. I have been able to look through past the insanity and laugh, because this is just proof in the pudding that I'm right. This behavior is like crazy shit. So basically what I've deduced, because I've thought about everything, like yes, the dates were definitely set up. So everything that I've said, that I've been, this is fishy and weird, but I'm not jumping to conclusions because I'm not a delusional person, was correct. My feelings were correct. Here comes the spicier stuff. What I think is that they are in contact with some of my exes and are writing like my exes. The other alternative, the first thing I thought when I was first getting these dates, is that they were putting my text into AI and replicating my writing style so that way they would know exactly how to talk to me. I don't think it would have been able to go on much longer, because I do notice people recording. And I do know that some of the people at GenCon are like working with them too, which is so redonkulous, dude. It's just like all that effort. And y'all could have just, if there's 100 people in that Discord server and they each gave me $1, I'd have $100 right now, and I could fucking go to a Red Roof tonight. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. Because they're just proving what I've said. And I think this is a classic example where it's like, well, if you think I'm going to do that and act that way, then I'm actually going to do that and act that way to prove you a point. the only point that you're proving to me is that I'm fucking right. And it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing for you. There are things that you've seen that you really shouldn't have seen. The reason why I know it's a Discord is because of the comment on my video, the trans women problem, which is still a really big fucking problem, clearly. Like, there's some creepy shit that they've recorded of me, especially if they put a camera on my car. Wow. Because if they are in cahoots with my exes, it would make sense. They're so good at manipulation. They know me so well, and they know how to make me look bad. That's the thing with manipulators and narcissists. They're so good at making you look bad because they take accountability and they're like, see, he does a bad thing. And I'm like, yeah, I did bad thing, but like, I did not mean bad thing, and I apologize. And we'll do better. But more than anything, I'm starting a revolution. The financial coordinator guy that came to see me denied completely. Because what's the benefit of continuing the lie, you know? I mean, I guess I haven't posted this yet. I guess y'all don't actually know that I know now. But because of that awesome fucking dude I met, ooh, be my new friend. Oh my God, you're so fucking good. I was really worried you were a dick because you kept saying the N-word, which you shouldn't do, but I'm assuming it was a test. Oh my God. I'm sorry I'm so slow. I trust you guys so much. And then you... for videos because I'm so hot, just ask, baby, and I'll do a whole lot for you on camera. Wow. Because what I'm wondering is how it's spreading. And I was wrong earlier. Another thing that I want to point out is how I'm pretty sure that it started at Colossal Con. Possibly Anime Central, but I don't think so. I didn't really talk to a lot of people at Anime Central. I won Best in Show anyway. I was riding a high that nobody could talk to me out of. No, yeah, I did meet somebody at Anime Central that like ghosted me and shit. You know, I couldn't tell you were trans ass bitch. With all the people, there's probably good people. How good could they be if they're not telling me? There's just a lot, and I hate to say how I know what they're doing because I don't mean to give away all the tells because it means they can manipulate me better, but this is a lot, and there's got to be people who are totally on my side on this, that I'm right about what I say, but also this behavior is just like really, really fucked up. But I'll be back. I finally see the city. Thank goodness. We finally made it to the city. I was very suspicious that this group has been ganging up on me as some sort of fake activism type stuff, and it looks like I have been correct. I've been trying not to jump to conclusions. I've been trying not to go off of confirmation bias. I try to be a very open-headed person and approach situations the way that I feel they fit. So I would have figured this out on my own eventually. It's a very interesting situation that I am right now because it turns out that they have been watching me and recording me for quite a while, and it wasn't just paranoia. And I kept dismissing this, and I just didn't want to sound delusional because, you know, I try to keep myself in check, and I do my absolute best to keep my feelings and emotions and judgments and conclusions in check. This is a crazy situation. This is a crazy situation. You're along for the ride. So if you've ever been paranoid about the possibility of people watching you and influencing your decisions and where you go and what you do, it's totally possible it could be happening. But now I'm letting y'all know. I know now. And I know your tells. And I have excluded some information for very specific reasons. I feel a lot less bad for being so curt and realistic lately because I wasn't wrong. Well, I hope you have better luck than I do watching this video because I don't even know where to go. I need to figure out what I'm doing. I'm just still in such shock and disbelief. It's just so strange. Am I really all this important to you? All of a sudden? Where was that energy? I tell you what. And the irony, I don't talk to anybody anymore, obviously. I think it's very apparent to everybody since y'all are so in my business now. You're welcome for all this content, by the way. Go ahead and mind away, bitch. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm still not there, and I just need to get back. I was so foolish. I'm not a fool. I am a fool. I'm not irrational, my guys. What I am saying is not coming from my ass. You guys asked me the same questions over and over and over, and I gave you the same answers every single time. And it still wasn't enough for your greedy little fucking mouths. Oh my god. What I was leading to, the important thing that I need to say is, like, even with all the people that I have disdain for, I don't talk down on people. Even with, like, my wildest ex. The gaslighting audacity of all. I feel like the way I felt whenever I was getting elevation sickness for the first time when I went to California. Go ahead and check out my vlog that I'm currently editing. We should be in California in a couple of videos. And we're about to get to the Grand Canyon. Like and subscribe. And send your boys some money. Please. I really, the first GenCon check is coming next Friday, which is only in 5 days. I can, but oh my gosh, am I stressy, depressy. My gas gauge went back down to a quarter of a tank. I don't know. I might be fucked here soon. And now I'll never, ever be able to trust anybody ever again. And another thing is, this is psychological warfare. This is the long game. Like, this is like a Reddit story. If you made it this far, thank you. Pick your side. I would not recommend you look for the videos. I don't know where they are. I don't want to know, because, like, that's all personal stuff that I did not consent to. But I understand that I'm homeless and that it's more difficult for me to do things. But obviously everybody else understands that. It means that one person at Colossal Con was a setup. And the reason why I opened up to her and it snowballed. Very weird, this experience. Because there's got to be, like, ringleaders. There's got to be the people in control of this. Because this is, like, a whole little creative writing project or something. Like, this is like a project is what I keep referring to it as. It's crazy. Genuinely crazy. I don't know if anybody will ever like me for who I am. I don't know if I will ever meet somebody who is genuine or just saying what they need to say to get my attention. I don't know if I'm actually getting through to people in the way that I'm just trying really hard, because I know better than very, very well. My gas gauge is all fucked up. Did I put the wrong type of gas in here at some point? I am so confused. I'm so concerned. Oh, this is not good. What is the extent that they're following me and trying to hurt me? It's so cruel, and I would never do something like this to people. I am super freaked right now. I'm just shocked. So now I finally know how this community treats conservatives, and it is still completely abhorrent. I would never treat it. Not even conservatives I wouldn't do this to. Gaslighting is manipulative and abusive. And now I finally understand why Trump won. You are focusing so hard on me, a raging leftist. And for the final update of where this landed, because I'm doing a very hard job to get this all edited, I lost my job. I decided to record it this way, so then that way I can condense things a little better and be more organized than what I originally recorded, okay? So they gave me 3 different reasons as to why they did. The first one was that I was sleeping in my car, and I was only doing it for 50 minutes because we have an hour lunch break. So it was totally within reason, and it was because I couldn't keep my eyes open, because with all of this trauma, I barely slept 2 hours, and it was in and out sleep, and I kept waking up and checking my surroundings, and it was really rough. So I think it was completely fair for me to do that. The second reason was because I wasn't telling them that I was going on break. This one's more understandable because they actually never care if we tell them we're going on break, and they're very lax about it. It's just the fact that I took my break very early and I didn't tell them. So I can understand. But the thing is they let me finish out my whole entire shift without saying a single word. And then at the end of the day, they let me leave like a normal day. And I had even said, I'll see you tomorrow to the manager. And then I got a call from the staffing company saying that they didn't want me employed there anymore. Because I had told one manager what was going on, and she knew I was going through a heavy situation, but she never followed up, and then she never spoke with me once she realized that my performance was going to lose me my job. Third thing was that they were worried about my mental health, and I find this the most counterproductive point. Because if you're worried about somebody's mental health, firing them is not the move, especially when you didn't even take the time to follow up with the situation, tell them that they're doing something wrong, and give them a chance to better themselves. So it was all just very weird. And there are 3 trans people that are working there that have been gaslighting me as well. So it's just really sucky that they absolutely contributed to me losing this job that I adore. I love working GenCon, and the staff loves working with me. So it's just really sucky because I'm just the wrong person to be doing this to. I've fought for people's rights since before I realized I was somebody who needed rights of my own, and this shit sucks. Yes, it's been confirmed that they are doing this. They are sending out different actors with different backstories and silly little fucking names. They're all very convincing. They've been using my conversations. There's a Discord group where they are putting videos. The most concerning for me is the one where there's videos of me peeing, there's videos of me doing sexual stuff, and even just like regular in public. It explains everything at Anime Central, why they were acting weird, why they were telling me to go places at the wrong time. It was on purpose, and I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. I was like, I don't want to be delusional, I don't want to be silly, but it is true, it is confirmed. There are a ton of actors, surrogates that they have put out there. Basically what they would do is they would come up with a short name and backstory, and then once it did come around to me getting the social, Bearing Indie Group has a list of like dead socials where you hop on them, but basically they would just give me one of these random socials and it wouldn't be the person I was talking to on these socials. Same with Timey. I am just kind of baffled again because our community is going through so much hard stuff and it's so just terrible for us. They're sexually harassing me now at this point, and it's like I said, it's at the point where these surrogates, these fake people, these actors that they're sending, they feel bad. And it explains why people have been so mean, and then I'm just nice little me, and then by the end of everything, they look like they feel bad. Because I've recorded all this stuff in these vlogs already, but I haven't edited these vlogs yet. And now as I go through these vlogs, I can point out, oh, this was somebody who was harassing me, and I had no idea because I'm trusting. Wow, it's just a lot. I don't expect people to lie to me because I don't lie to people. And on top of that, it's really hard to tell that I have autistic tendencies, but this is the perfect example. If somebody doesn't tell me the whole truth, I'm not going to sit there and think that I'm only hearing part of the truth. And people know that, and they take advantage of that. And they know me inside and out, and I know who they're working with. The people that they're working with know me inside and out. But the thing is, bro, the reason why I don't talk to any of these people anymore is because they were terrible fucking people. I am just a reactionary person. I don't take my anger out on people when it has nothing to do with them. When it does happen, when I do take my anger out on accident, I take accountability. I have a very real talk. I make sure to not do that again. And there is a very big process that comes with that. But any time that I have a reaction, it is simply a reaction. And telling me that it is inappropriate to have a reaction to something that is nasty is lying and manipulation. And following me around and sending me people to pretend to be my friends, holy shit. You know, when Dude Bro looked me dead in the eye and he said, "Do you record people in public?" And I said, "No, I would never." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's wrong and it's non-consensual." And that he did a very good job at making things very clear in that moment. I was able to kind of like play it off, maybe he's psychic for a minute, but no, he was sick of it. He said at one point that I was the only real person there. It's because I was the only one that didn't have a fake identity. And it just breaks my heart that they would be like, "Oh yeah, we'll be around in this area." So then that way I would hang around that area and they deliberately wouldn't be there. It boggles my mind how the one dude gave me a whole business card, but whenever I started texting, I'm pretty sure it's a different person. I'm still meaning to look online at that business card and look it up. And when I talked to that guy and his friends, they were like, oh wow, you're such a good person. Oh wow, he's a great person. I'm like, first of all, I don't like hearing people say that, especially since my life is terrible, and if I was really that great of a person, why is my life terrible? And second of all, when I went back to see if they were still there, they weren't there. They never had any interest. And then he said they wanted to know what I was going to wear, and I wasn't sure, but they said, we'll see you. Don't worry, we'll see you. And I didn't see a single person. So it's confirmed, it's happening, but I'm really hoping and betting on the real ones, because this is really wrong. Like, this is fucked up, psychopathic. I got on Facebook to do a little more protest posts, you know, real protesting, not the kind that's just like straight up abuse. And while I was on there, I shared one post that I saw on there, which is, lack of emotion is just psychopathy. And that's just kind of what it is at the end of the day. Telling me I'm too emotional and I'm reacting. Sending these people to have these very pleasant experiences with, just for them to have an issue with something I say, has just been like really detrimental, and it hurts me a lot. And I really hope that the person who led me on to what was going on, I hope they don't sabotage you. Bless this